Hey, what's going on, guys? Mark back in the workshop on Mark's Aquatics. Right, as you can see now, these guys have settled in lovely. These lovely little Rasboras, Pearl Danios, Galaxy Rasboras, all the different names these little guys have got. They've settled in lovely. And what I've done is now is I've put a little Tupperware bowl in the top there. Now, if you see those two just going in the top, there's a male and female. The males are driving the females now into the Sargasso tang, which I've placed into the bowl. Now this is to stop egg predation, and I find once they've settled in, they'll readily go into this. You can see them now going in. I fed them this morning, but like I just said, they're going to go in there now and they're going to spawn in amongst that Sargasso tang, and it's going to be harder for them now to find those little eggs. And now every day we can go in there now and take the eggs out. We can take that pot out very carefully. They're semi-adhesive eggs, so they're going to stick slightly to the pot and to the plants as well. But then we can slowly waft it around, drain some of the water out, and we can remove some of the eggs then and take them and put them into another tank for hatching. And then these little guys are going to keep giving us fresh eggs, literally like little chickens every single day. They're going to be breeding. They're not big spawners. You can see those two in there now. I'll try and get closer. They're very, very timid fish, these little Galaxy Rasboras, they really are. But when they're in bigger shoals, they tend to chill out a little bit more, and once they get into that breeding little regime of theirs, they tend to forget that I'm here with the camera. So and I've literally just put that in, and already they're starting to show signs of activity. It could be full spawning. They're trying to get out. They'll work their way out. There they go. But they're going to be leaving and depositing those eggs inside that pot. I'll try and get a close-up of the pot. If I can keep super still, and you might see some action going on. There you go, male and females all diving into it now, and you can see that wriggling around now. That's spawning activity. And like I said, whether or not they're actually producing the eggs, I'm not 100% sure. But what I might do, I might give them a couple of hours, and then what I'll do is I'll take that out, and I think we'll just have a little exploratory look. Look at that, lots of frenzy and spawning activity going on there now. So it'll be interesting to see in a couple of hours if we've actually got any eggs. And then we can take them out and we can hatch them in a separate little tank. Look at that, they're busy little bees. Okay guys, I'll give you a little bit of music now. You can watch these little guys do a lovely bit of courtship. Right guys, now as you know, when Tropco sent me these, they are all captive bred fish. I don't try and breed anything in here that is taken from the wild. I like to take sustainably sourced fish if I can. Now that's one of the reasons why these little guys are breeding so quickly. It's because they're captive bred and they're used to captive bred surroundings and aquarium conditions, or the farm conditions that they're kept in. They're all schooling up lovely, males flashing away to the females. And like I said before guys, the reason why I put that little Tupperware pot in there with a little stone in just to hold it down, which is behind the plants, is because they're going to go over the top of the plants and spawn there. The female will deposit anywhere from 10 to 20 eggs and the male will follow behind and fertilize them. And then within a few days they're going to start to hatch. But once these guys get going, they'll breed like crazy. They really will. They're prolific little breeders once you get them going. You can see them there on the right hand side of the pot, dancing away, displaying away. The males driving the females over that spawning media there. The plants, there's a couple in there now, depositing eggs, I hope. And like I said, they're only young. They could be dummy runs, but this looks quite promising to me. The females are quite chunky. I've been feeding them up over the last few days. And there is definitely some spawning action going on in amongst those plants, which is very, very encouraging. I've got a nice little tank next door, the one I bred the neons in and the cardinals in. It's only about 2.5 gallon tank. Very, very small, 12 inches wide by 8 inches by 8 inches in size. Very, very small. I'll show you that later on. If we find any eggs, and I'll transfer them over. I'll put a little heater in there and we can get them going. But there's lots of breeding activity. Look at that, they're really going for it now in amongst those plants. I've got to keep my distance because they're super scary, like I said, and they'll just shoot off and panic. So you may see a couple also get, as you may look like they're being stuck in the pot, because they'll go down and they'll have a little bit of trouble getting out. But that's one of the whole points of doing it this way. It's because it stops them from predating on the eggs and going back in, because the males will actively hunt the eggs out and eat them. So that's why it's pretty imperative to go through them every day, go through your little pot every day, find out, turkey base the eggs out and pop them into another little tank for hatching. But this is fantastic so far. They are absolutely going crazy in there now, and with all this lot we should have quite a few eggs. Nothing special about the water parameters guys, pH of 7, okay. That media that you see in the bottom is JBL ProScape, but it's quite old now, so the buffering capacity in it is near enough worn out. It's pretty spent, probably needs throwing away, but it's ideal. It was bacterially sound, so that's why I've kept it in there, because it's harbouring lots of life for these little tiny guys to feed on and predate upon, because they're coming out all the time from the depths in amongst it and coming to the surface, where these little guys are picking them off as they're coming up to the top. And that's why I like to breed these in a, you can see them in that left hand corner of the pot there going absolutely mad there, spawning away. That's why I keep them in these tanks, so it's super sound cycled filters and everything's pristine for them. And that is the key really to get these guys going. Just mimic nature, like I always say, and they will do what nature put them on the earth to do. They're still congregating in the right hand corner under the sponge filter. That's where I had the plants before, and that's where they felt safe, so they're going back there to hide. But and there's a fair bit of shadow under there as well, which they're going under. Keep your lights dim as well. Don't have a bright light guys. Keep the lights quite dim, or partly shade it with something if you can't dim your lights, tea towel or something. Those males have coloured up absolutely stunning now. Look at that, displaying away, and in he goes again. Like I said, I'm going to give this a couple of hours now, and then we're just going to do a dummy run. I'll take that pot out, I'll show you me doing that, and then we'll have a little look. And the nice thing is you can keep all of the eggs and the water in that Tupperware. There's no holes in the bottom of that for anything to drain out, so you're taking everything out. Then you can use your tongs and you can slowly waft those little eggs, which are semi-adhesive like I said, off of the plants, and they'll sink to the bottom, and we can have a look at them there. So I'll get back to you in a couple of hours and we'll check it out and see what's going on. Right guys, I've been through all this Swasatang now, and basically what I've been doing, I've been taking it out of the pot, just rinsing it through like that, okay? That will dislodge any eggs that are in there. I think I've seen some eggs, but I'm just gonna take the rest of this out with my tweezers carefully, without knocking the tripod over, and any little bits of substrate which are left in there. And I thought I saw a couple of little eggs rolling about in the bottom there, so that is very encouraging. And then what I'll do is I'll get you a little zoom up after I get these out. And this is a careful time to mind you don't damage any eggs when you're putting your tongs in. And what I tend to do then is I'm just going to tip this water back in slowly now into their aquarium, okay? And then that'll make everything then come to one corner of the pot. Bear with me, and we're just tipping this in slowly. You're going to have a little bit of debris in the bottom as well, but we can swirl that around. And there's a couple of little bits which I just want to wash out. It's a little bit like gold panning, really. Oh yes, we have some eggs. I'm just going to slosh those now down the other side and take out the rest of this media, and then we'll have a little zoom in. Otherwise the media you've got to watch, otherwise it tends to follow the eggs and it can damage the eggs as well. But if you're a lot more careful than me, you won't get any media in there in the first place. Right, now what I've got to do is reset you up. In fact, I might be able to do it with you here actually. I'm using my other tripod, so it's a little bit... Let me put those stones at the back. Then we just rinse everything into a corner. And then we'll have a little close-up. Sorry for all the juggling. But there you can see, look at that lot, guys. Lots and lots of little pearl danios, little galaxy rasboras. I know you guys have been all confused with the names, but there you've got them. Right, there you go guys, right in the centre of the screen we've got a lovely little fresh little galaxy rasbora egg there, look at that. And if we look around we might see a few more. There could probably a few baby snails in amongst this lot as well. Yep, there's a few more there. So we've got quite a few, so it's successful. So hopefully they're fertilised eggs. I'm going to put these into I'm going to set another little tank up now next door without any substrate in, but I'm going to have to clean that out first. I'll get back to you guys when I've done that, okay? Right guys, what I've done now is I have put that little tub back in. It's the other one that I put the Swasatang in, and I put the stone in there to hold it down. You can see I've bunched it all up in there so they can do the same thing again tomorrow. And I have floated the eggs, as you can see, those little guys in there, those little pearls. I've kept them in there to keep the temperature, okay? Don't leave your eggs out for too long. That's an easy mistake to make, and then they'll chill and then they're not going to hatch for you, okay? Now over this side, past all these lovely plec hides, okay, which are up for grabs in the last video. Thanks to Monstera, thank you very much again. We've got another little tank with a heater in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out some of this water. This is your water change anyway. So I'm going to take out the water from in here. and I'm going to pop it straight into there. Okay, so I'm going to basically half fill this tank with the aquarium water from the pearl danios from in there. All right, and then I'll get back to you guys. Right, I can basically show you now what I'm doing. I've got a hose pipe in there, being very careful not to suck out the fish. Try and keep out as much debris as you can. That pipe's now going over there and it's filling up that little tank there, you see. We don't want it all the way to the top, just to make sure that heater is underneath the water so we don't have any malfunctions there. That's slowly filling up now and we're nearly there. I think that will do it. And now all I'm going to do is pour these guys and wash that tub out and just tip them into there like so. Keep my little pot handy for tomorrow so we can get some more out, and you should start seeing them eggs floating down there. They go onto the bottom where we can keep an eye on it. Now you don't need a light in this tank, guys. I don't find these light sensitive like tetras or anything, but then you can just leave them. Within a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, they're going to start hatching away. Temperature's 25 degrees, and as you can see, we've got lots of little eggs in there already. Look at that. I'm not sure how many we got, maybe 10, but we've got some eggs, so we got a result as quickly as that. Right, I've just set you back up on the tripod again, and I'll let them settle in a bit. So we got our tank on the left hand side now already set up as quickly as that. Exchange one water to the new tank just as you saw me set it up. Heater in there. Now you can see them there going around again, already looking a little bit suspect, like we might breed again. They got used to that pot being in there, and that big clump of plants is going to draw them over the top. There you go. And within literally 5 or 10 minutes, I've turned the rest of the lights off now in the workshop so they can't see me as such, and the bench tank lights off as well. But I just thought I'll just let you see if they go again, just to show you how prolific these guys will breed once they start going. Okay, they're not a hard species of fish to breed, as you can see, providing you get, I bred them years ago when they first were around, 2009. I think they'd been around for a couple of years in the pet industry, and they were a lot harder to breed because they were mostly wild caught fish. But these sustainably sourced ones, captive bred ones, are a lot easier to breed. As you can tell, they're at it within a matter of days of Tropco sending them to me. So if you fancy getting yourself a nice little breeding group like this, get in touch with them guys. I'll put their link in the description if you're new to this video and you're in the UK, and they'll post some out to you. All captive bred, fantastic stuff. That'll save that wild population from certain doom, that's for sure. With pollution and everything else that we've got going on in the world, it certainly is a good way forward. It's the only way forward as far as I'm concerned, to protect these little guys in the wild. But already they're starting to swim about and explore again. Fantastic. So within a couple of days we should have some babies out. It's Tuesday today. You're going to be seeing this tomorrow, Wednesday, when I put this one out. And then we'll have a little hatch. And now every day what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pot out now every probably couple of days maybe, or probably every day, it depends, see how much activity we get, because there's a lot of them in there. And I'll extract the eggs out every day and put them into that other tank. And then when I've got enough, what I'll do then is I'm going to rescape the bench tank, I think, and we can put all 20 in the bench tank so they can have 6 feet of tank to explore and really enjoy themselves in there. Anyway guys, we've got some activity now, we've got some eggs. Any questions, throw it in the old comment section below and I'll answer as many questions as I can for you, okay? I'm bound to have missed out things, and like I said, just a real quick summary. pH is 7, temperature 26, 25, 26, I would say around there. This is around the 25 mark, maybe just a couple of clicks over. And 2 sponge filters cycled, aged substrate, and that's one of the most important things. Like I said before, make sure if you're going to stick these into a freshly, don't put them in a fresh tank. Obviously it's not cycled first. You've got to make sure everything's cycled and do it properly from the start, and then you'll have some success like I've just showed you now. So anyway guys, as always, you're all stars. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for Tropco again for sponsoring these fish, and I think they're going to be sending me some more goodies shortly, so I'm really excited about receiving those guys, and I think you will be as well. So stay tuned for further episodes. If you're new to the channel, hit the old subscribe button if you like these videos, and that notification bell for up and coming videos, and that will keep you in the loop when I put a new video out. Okay, anyway guys, as always, you're all stars. Love you loads. Take care, and I will see you on the next episode of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.